for Champions League. Arsenal going over to Atletico Bilbao. Atletico Bilbao nil, Arsenal 2. Question is, people, was that a professional or stinky win? Put it in the comments. Was that a professional or stinky win? And judging by the lineup, not going to lie, Arteta, what is it about you not wanting to go? I know it sounds crazy and it might sound like I'm contradicting myself, but being brave in terms of putting in another attacking midfielder as opposed to going for three defensive minded players. Yeah, everybody keeps talking about Moreno is that attacking Tenny playing behind Gokares and all of that. Yes, he got his hat trick and whatever. But for me, you know, Atletico is a club that could be got at. Yes, we beat them in pre-season. Yeah, Man United beat them in the Europa League. We're a better side than Man United. Why is it that we are going into this game and it really, the first half, especially the first half, was absolutely a stinkfest, an absolute stinkfest. And before I go into it, people, the lineup, one change, Declan Rice coming in to the side, Timber right back, Mascara at centre back, pairing with Gabriel Mangalese, Calafori, and then obviously in the midfield we had Odegaard, not Odegaard, sorry, we had Moreno, Timber. What am I doing, man? I'm losing it. We had Rice, Zubamendi, and Moreno. See, I'm all over the place at the moment. And obviously up front, Eze on the left, Gokres as the 9 or 14, and Madueke on the right hand side. Somebody just come out, look, think Brentford, Crystal Palace having a shootout. I don't know who's won it, but it's just showing up on my phone. But listen, let's talk about the game. And apologies for mixing up the midfield. It's one of those days. It's one of those days. It's such a bore fest. I'm not going to lie. The first half was such a bore fest in terms of our approach to the game. You know, our defense was okay. Timber, I think Timber, Mosquera, you know, probably our best players on the pitch for me. And if anything, I'll probably be giving the man of the match to Timber, my personal speaker. Overall, I'll be giving the man of the match to Timber. Yes, you know, Martinelli came on and Trossard came on and absolutely changed the game. But that doesn't tell the whole game. It doesn't really tell the whole game. And for the first 70 minutes, let's be real, guys. For the first 70 minutes, nothing went going on. Nothing wasn't going on in terms of the game. You know, at the start, you know, Bilbao, you know, sort of came at the traps. You know, we tried to, you know, keep the ball, but they started to grow into the game. And you would say maybe on the balance of play, the first half, it would say that Bilbao probably had the better chance. It was the early chance. Well, we'll say there was an early chance. There was a situation where Declan Rice gave away a free kick on the edge of the box and he picks up an early yellow card. And then I believe it was in the 42nd minute when their player, I think it was Beringer, had that chance where it just went past the post. Raya went down, wasn't nowhere near it, went past the post, and we'll say that was probably their best chance. And if we're kind of looking at the actual stats of the game, we had 6 shots on targets to their 2 shots on target. I think in total we had both of us had the same amount of shots, 11 shots in total. But the game, as I said, it was a stinkfest for me. It was an absolute stinkfest. Some people are going to say it was a professional. It was a professional game by Arsenal and all of that. So you're going to hear that from the top gooners. Yeah, but listen, we get the win, clean sheet. But we cannot play like that. You know, why have we gone from, you know, listen, and that was really a forced change when Odegaard went down and even when Riri came in. let's be a bit braver, Arteta. You need to be a bit braver. And this Moreno um, project that you're trying or experiment, um, playing him as this 10. Listen, it ain't working. It ain't working for me. It ain't working for me. Yeah, he scored an hat trick for Spain, but you had players that around him that were very good, and Spain are a very fluid side. And watching this game this evening or early evening, it really didn't inspire me whatsoever. And we got a big game coming up on Sunday against Man City, and we're going to have to play much better than that. Yes, we've got the 2-0. People are going to say, yeah, it was a professional win, so on and so forth. But at times I was just thinking, come on, why are we playing the ball so slow? We always start off slow, that slow passing at the back. Raya holds onto it, then he plays it out to Mascara. Mascara stands on it, then he plays it out to Gabriel, plays it across to Gabriel Mangalese. Gabriel Mangalese then plays it back to Raya. Raya then either goes long, it then comes back to us, and then it's that whole recycling of the ball, recycling, and we're not really going anywhere. Yeah, Madueke I didn't feel a better game than he did on Saturday. Yes, he goes past players, but again, apart from that one chance where he laid it off, and I think what's the name was caught in his heels. Eze was caught in his heels. But other than that, it's all right burning up the grass and you know, you know, running into the area, but nothing really coming off of it. And that kind of is very frustrating. We need to see more of an end product. And then there was a chance that he had. Well, I don't know if he was trying to cross it or shoot with his left foot. Didn't quite come off. Um, and again, it was just that whole recycling. So the first half, it was a yawn fest, a bore fest. Second half was a little bit better. The game started to open up a bit more, we started to get a little bit more of the ball, and essentially two of the goals that we scored were we done it on the transition, hitting them on the break. We had more possession than them, because we're there to try and control the game, and essentially that's what we did. But the thing is, if by any chance, hold on, two guys, because my it's saying that the battery is going to run out on my laptop, so let me just quickly plug that in. Sorry about this, people. Very unprofessional, even though it was some people say it was a professional um, game by Arteta. It was very unprofessional for me not plugging in my laptop, and it's nearly dying on me. But I've just saved the day. So let's get back to what I was saying. So yeah, so listen, to me, it was a stink fest. Even though we won the game, it was a stink fest. And people, I'm happy that we've got the two goals and it was a clean sheet and that, but we have to play better than this. We're going to come up against much better sides. If that was another side, a better side than Bilbao, we probably get beaten tonight. Do you know what I mean? We probably get beaten tonight. Um, for me, Timber, as I said, for me was probably our best player. Mascara was decent. Gabriel, apart from one straight pass I think it was one straight pass he made. Other than that, the defense, Calafori, getting caught out a couple of times on that side. Obviously, he likes to surge forward and whatever. But yeah, defense was okay, but our midfield, just nothing wasn't going on there. Do you know what I mean? Declan Rice getting an early yellow card, and just literally just running up and down, just trying to put out fires. Zubamendi, not a good showing today. Getting caught on his heels, didn't really show up. You know what I mean? Thinking, look, you've played these guys. When you was playing for Real Sociedad, you would have obviously come up against these guys. So I would have thought I would have seen a better showing from you. Also, Moreno, same thing again. Not a good showing today. The midfield for me just wasn't at the races. And then obviously Gokrez, the service. Eze wasn't really getting it. He was isolated on that left hand side. There was a point where Arteta was telling him to pull wide, come out and touch to the touch line. Whereas the natural thing for Eze is he wants to come inside. That's what he wants to do. He's naturally a number 10 playing centrally. But Arteta was balling at him and telling him that you need to come out wide and hug that touch line. So he didn't have a great game this evening. And again, it's that whole thing of if we'd just gone and got a proper left winger, or why not have played, Eze, not Eze, why don't you play Madueke on the left hand side and play Ethan on the right, and then put Eze in the 10, something like that, just to so that it's just more creativity because Gokra is again being starved. He had that headed chance where he headed wide. But other than that, it's that lack of service. He got taken off. And just looking at who actually sort of came off. So basically, he came off in the when was it? He came off in the 65th minute. Leandro Trossard came on for him. Obviously, he was one of the scorers and provider of the goal. Gabriel Mangalese came on for Martinelli. Sorry, came on for Eze. Again, he was a provider and scorer of the first goal. Christian Norgard and Pierre Nkepeke, his debut for Arsenal came on in the 90 plus 1 minute. So I think there was about 5-6 minutes added time. But to be honest, they didn't really do too much. But listen, Leandro Trossard scoring and sealing the game. Again, it was a break from Arsenal. Gabriel, good bit of wing play, cutting it back, and this time making something happen, finding Leandro Trossard, and he obligingly hits it. He did take a deflection, and he puts the game to bed. But obviously, the goal for Martinelli, because obviously he's looking at his position now and thinking, well, I need to step up. So maybe it's a good thing to see him, latching onto that ball again. Headed ball out from, I think it was Mosquera. Then I can't remember who headed it on to Trossard. I can't remember if it was who was it? Was it Moreno? Can't remember. Somebody edited it onto Trossard, who flicked it over, and Martinelli was able to run onto it. It looked like he took a heavy touch. He had the defender bearing down on him, but managed to slot it away under the keeper. And we make it 1-0. And literally he came on within a minute and a half. He scores that goal. He comes on like in that 71st minute or so, and then he scores not too long after that. And everybody is going to look at that and go, "Wow, what a genius play by Mikel Arteta!" Bringing on the two substitutes who now have changed the game. Yes, it's great. We've done that. We've got the squad depth to do that. But today it was disappointing from a number of players. As I said, the defense was fine, but our attack and the midfield for me just weren't on it today. And we've got obviously a game. We're going to have a lot of rest because we don't then play again until Sunday. Man City play on Thursday. They're going to have a home game against Napoli. Probably be a bit of a tough game, but we're going to have to go be more brave at home. Now, I've just got this mad feeling, guys, that he's going to end up with Martinelli getting that goal and that whole defensive thing. He might end up playing Martinelli on that left-hand side. I just can see it. I can see. I hope that's not the case. I want him to go with an attacking side on Sunday, Super Sunday. We have to be careful. I think Saliba was on the bench tonight. He didn't come off, so I'm glad he didn't come on. He's rested. Saliba will have to probably start in that game because you're going to be up against Haaland, and I think Gabriel and Saliba will take care of Haaland. We just got to be careful that we don't play that silly high line. You saw how Man United were just naive with their defending. We're not like that. We're a very good defensive side, but it's where we need to make sure we win that midfield battle. And I'd love to, as I said, I'd love to see Eze in that 10 role, and move Madueke over onto the left and play even Manreri on the right, or even a Max Down. But people can say he's too young, whatever. But it is what it is. We win the game 2-0. And for me, my title says professional or stinky win. For me, put it in the comments. What do you think? I think it was a stinky win. People will look at that game and say we went away, tough place, Bilbao, but we got it over the line. That's the main thing. We won it in a stinkified way, and we leave the stadium, and we move on to the next game. So, people, let me know what you think in the comments. Was this a professional or was this stinky win? Let me know in the comments. Yeah, as I say, we've gone to Atletico Bilbao, beating them 2-0, and we move on to the next game. Please hit that like button, subscribe and share if you're new, and I'll see you on the next match reaction. Take care and God bless.